this live stream. And today is Science Day. Every Wednesday is I dedicated to science. So I'm going to be sharing something which I think I've mentioned in the past, but today I will have a, a bigger discussion about it because I feel that it's probably the most important, apart from the one that I did on We Are All Connected, to explain about how we came from the stardust. But I feel that this one is very important because it can affect our bodies, our lives, and other people's lives as well. And before I go into that, I'm pretty happy today because guess what? I received my book yesterday, and although I have viewed it, around 4 to 5 times because I was the one looking at the final manuscript, and nevertheless, I still got very excited when I received the book. Just like a little kid, getting his first toy kind of thing. And yeah, and I guess, maybe it's also to do with the fruit of my labor, spending hours looking into that book. And I must say, before I go into the science, I must say this book has totally changed my life in the way I look at life in itself. You see, a lot of us have a lot of different questions about our creation, existence, and where we are going after this life, right? And yeah, but first of all, I would like to just say that NLG is not a religious organization, and we are non-political, and these are my personal views, all right? And I would consider myself as a pretty religious person in the past. Only lately, I started to do more soul searching because there were a few things that I couldn't really comprehend and unify. On the one hand, if we look at the Bible, talks about creation, it's around 6,000 years old. And then when we look at the science, Earth is about maybe 4.5 billion years. The universe is 13.8 billion years. So how does it, come together? That's number one, right? And number two is, on the one hand, we were created in the image of God. On the other hand, we have the evolution theory, right? So it's like, wow, they are many, many years apart and also totally different, something that, I'm sure a lot of you guys who are watching are probably thinking of the same thing. That's, something inside you. And of course, with this, what we read, we're not supposed to question it. We're supposed to have faith. And I was a religious guy, I even became head deacon of a church before. And so I just, can't see how we can put all this together. And the third thing is, of course, somebody will come down from heaven and bring us all there one day, if we do good. If not, we're going under, right? So, yeah, it's just a good thing, it just makes us do good things in life because we all want to go up there. We don't want to go down there, right? Yeah, having said that. So when I read this book, wow, it unified the science and the spirituality and it unified, all right? So now I'm just going to talk a little bit about this. I'm just going to talk a little bit about it. I hope you guys don't mind. And it reveals to me something very, very interesting. First of all, we talk about the creation of Earth, not the universe, Earth. If you add up all the ages of the people, who live like, the early people, they lived to 900 plus years and so on. You add it all up, yeah, it's about 6,000 years. That's Earth. And However, science has found that it's about 4.5 billion years. In the book, Mr. Lee's knowledge came from his teacher, and the teacher he calls the angel of love, angel of soul. And this angel of soul came from the Creator. He was sent by the Creator. So the common thing is, based on my belief, I believe in God. And Mr. Lee's book, he believes in God too. All right, so that's a good thing. All right, I'm glad there's no conflict, right? Because I still believe in God. And the angel was sent to planet Earth, right? And he has been given the task with love to transform the evolution of all living things, especially humans, on planet Earth. And of course, the angel enlightened Mr. Lee through the years of their association together as teacher and student, especially the first 5 years. And Mr. Lee was taken back in time, and he was able to see everything so that he will not be fooled by other people. And from that experience, he was, told that the process of evolution started 3 billion years ago with the DNA that was taken from the DNA of our Creator. All right, so it resonates. God created, maybe not man in its image, but God created the first life form from his own DNA. And this DNA, through the subatomic particle, was brought by the angels, the first batch of angels, 3 billion years ago, to planet Earth. And that's how life form started, the lowest life form. They die, they evolve, the soul enters the next and the next and the next, and the process of evolution and reincarnation at the same time, right? And until today, we humans are the highest life form. Okay, we are now the highest life form. So yes, regarding the first point, we are still creation of God indirectly, right? We are still creation of God, but it's not 6,000 years ago. It's more than that. It's 3 billion years ago. And that goes well with, my scientific mind, because the universe, as we all know, and they may change, but it was 13.8 billion years ago, the universe and the Big Bang. And planet Earth was 4.5 billion years ago. So after everything settled down on planet Earth, life form 3 billion years ago. That's okay. It goes pretty well, in this knowledge, because if it's 6,000 years ago, it's a bit hard, honestly, because we have found things, civilizations, like, for example, Egyptian Sumerians and so on. They are already more than 6,000 years old. Are you with me, guys? So are you then saying that the testing of, I don't know, what do you call it? Not just carbon dating and so on. I mean, are you saying that this is flawed, this is not right, that the scientists who invented this dating thing is not correct? Well, then you have to go on that line to protect your argument, right? That it's 6,000 years old. So anyway, I'm not getting into that. It's my personal thing. So when I read the book, I was like, oh, wow, okay, I can deal with that. It's good. We are still created by our Creator through his DNA and carried to planet Earth by the angels, and through the simplest form of life, we evolve. Okay, I can accept that. I can accept that. So that's the first thing. Then the second thing is yeah, uh, well, in most religion, there is heaven and there is hell. We do good and we will go to heaven. But the thing is, where is heaven? Right? Where is heaven? That's the thing. According to the book, no one is coming down from heaven to get us up there. Right? According to the book, heaven is already here. Heaven is on earth. Heaven is here. All right? It's pretty deep. So those of you who wants to read it or even contemplate buying it, better be aware that this is going to be pretty deep and may hit you hard in your existing belief in whatever religion we belong to. All right. But according to the author, Mr. Lee, the founder of NLG, it is the truth. And he just wants to tell the truth because he has been given the truth by the angel sent by our creator. All right, guys. So in the book, Mr. Lee says that no one is going to come down from heaven to bring us there. And the whole process of evolution of mankind is based on, well, karma. Okay. And this karma is where you accumulate your karma credit. And how you have positive karma credit is when you do good things, you do good deeds. And the moment you do bad things or bad deeds, it goes negative, it decreases. So when you do good, it goes higher. And when your karma credit account is pretty good, then when you move on to the next life, you have a pretty good life. You have a decent life, more than average life, right? And however, if you abuse in that life, then it's gonna go down. And I believe in the last class 3, not the class 3 advanced, but the last class 3 I attended, I was taking notes. And I think Mr. Lee was saying something like, most of the people who accumulated big credit, in their karma credit account, and unfortunately, when they get reborn, they abuse it. And in their next life, more than 90% of them will go down as humans when they get reborn, but as very low human being. Low meaning some may have some physical problem, some may have some mental problem, some may have just struggling in their life. So it's a totally different belief that I have been brought up. But when I look at it, it makes sense to me, and so it totally changed my life, when I read the book, and more than once, many times. And so I thought I'd just share with you guys, about the book. So those of you who still haven't read the book or, bought the book, it's a good time for you to maybe have a copy for yourself, go through it and enjoy it. And a lot of things will be revealed to you through the book. All right. Okay, so that's about the book. And yeah, these are my personal opinion. All right. And I hope that you can appreciate that. It's just my sincere thoughts about life, about the book, about the revelation by Mr. Lee. All right, so I'm now going to share with you about the science, and this is a very interesting one because, yeah, this late Japanese scientist. All right, let me just open up. All right, and I hope I can show you. Okay, so as you can see, this late scientist, right, Masaru Emoto, he wrote a bestseller, New York Times bestseller. It's not easy to get a New York Times bestseller, right? The Hidden Messages in Water. And in this book, he talked about the crystals, basically with different samples of water. He will say, thank you, wisdom, truth, eternal, angels, I love you, peace. These are the good things that he will say to the water and then crystallize them. And when they're in the crystal state. He will then put them under a microscope, and you can see the pattern of the crystals. When good things are being said onto the water that will crystallize, they look pretty good, very nice. But when he started making bad remarks on the water, you fool, you make me sick, evil, and even there's one about the polluted water before the prayer and after. And after the prayer, it became really nice. But those are the water samples that, you know, he made pretty bad comments on. The crystals formed were pretty ugly looking kind of crystals. So it's pretty amazing, isn't it? And then he went on to do one more experiment. And that experiment is pretty interesting. I'll let you watch it. It's just a very short one only. And this one is about, he puts three, okay, I'll let the video, the narrator will explain about the experiment.
Dr. Emoto has conducted another interesting experiment. He placed rice into 3 glass beakers and covered it with water. And then every day for a month, he said, "Thank you" to one beaker, "You're an idiot" to the second, and the third one he completely ignored. After 1 month, the rice that had been thanked began to ferment, giving off a strong, pleasant aroma. The rice in the second beaker turned black, and the rice that was ignored began to rot.
Alrighty, I hope you enjoy that. And yeah, it's pretty straightforward. So the point is, water is you know, it's life. You know, we don't have life forms if there is no water, isn't it? I mean, scientists have searched all over the universe for life forms, and the first thing they look for is that, is there any water on the planet, right? Because if there is water, then there is potential life form. So water is indeed very important. And us humans, we have different organs, but on the average overall, for an adult human being, we have about 60% water. All right. Some organs have more, some organs have less. Even our bones have water. So the thing is this, as you can see from the experiment, how we treat the water, it will either look good, you know, in terms of its crystal formation, which is still in the water, or it will look really bad. So my contention is this: if we practice love, right, within ourselves, and our body is 60% water, how do you think our water will look like, right, if you put it under a microscope? I think it will look pretty good, right? So we, at the same time, we can also affect our children, our family, people around us. If we say good things to them, then their body's water will also look good, right? So that's why I believe that the practice of love to one another is the key, you know, to attaining good health. And the opposite of love is depression, anxiety, fear, sadness, hatred, and these are all negative emotions. And if you have, for example, someone in the past that hurt us, right, and we allow that to make, you know, to be retained in our heart, quite often these are people that we are close to, could be family members mostly, and we're deeply hurt. And the longer you leave it there, staying that way, it's going to harm you. It's going to harm you. So That's why at NLG, we tell people in our first class, I'm the instructor, I tell them, look at yourself, because we have a lot of excess baggage, I call it, in our hearts, where we've been hurt before. We have to learn how to unload all these negative emotions and get rid of them. We cannot run away from situations or problems in life. We have to confront them and deal with it. Okay. But when we are at a low frequency, it's very hard for you to be able to do that, because it's like a big giant leap, to get up there. It's impossible. But when you practice NLG, your frequency will start to increase. And when your frequency starts to increase, it gives you that strength. The analogy you can use is that someone who is sick, very, very sick, that person cannot walk, no energy. But when he gets better, then he has the energy to do things, move around and walk. Similarly, in our thoughts, in our hearts, in our everything about us, if we want to change, sometimes it's almost like impossible. Mental block, we can't see it. But that's where NLG comes in, because when you practice the 5 minutes, 30 seconds every day, and you get this wonderful healing, and what you'll find is that your energy level will increase day by day, right? And I read a lot of your comments, those people in class 1, class 2, because when they register, they have to make comments, right? And because I'm the instructor, so it's for me to know. And I find that a lot of people, when they come into class 1, unfortunately, their health and also their mental state is not that good. And I guess your health will affect your mental state, because that's how, because of your physiology, and that's how you feel, right? And unfortunately, there's nothing much, they can do to help themselves, because they don't have the tools, right? And when they enroll into class 1 of NLG, that's where I will teach them about understanding themselves, their physiology and love and everything, and about the energy and frequency. And when they practice that, their energy level will go up every day. And over a period of time, so because this coming weekend, we also have class 2. And I read the comments in the class 2. And usually the class 2 comments, I really like to read, because I can see a lot of improvement, in their comments. And that inspired me to go on. And I don't get, paid or whatever. I'm a volunteer. But I guess, my putting in the hard work and getting some kind of feedback from people that, inspire me to have the energy to help more people, you know what I mean? So yeah, I really enjoyed reading, the comments of the class 2. And that's how I learned about how people have improved from class 1 to class 2. You can see it's a paradigm shift. It's a complete shift in the way they think, in the way they feel. And in most cases, their health improve as well, which is like, wow, wonderful. Okay. So yeah, coming back to the experiment, because we are 60% water inside us, I feel that if we practice love, because remember, the late Dr. Amaru, he said good words, good, comments. And every time he does that, good things will happen, right? And just like in the rice experiment, he does that daily for 1 month, and that rice fermented well, didn't go bad. But the other 2, one was, you idiot, right? He made that comment every day. The other one is just complete indifference, towards it, like just shrug it off, don't even bother to look at it, being indifferent to that particular rice with the water in it, and it went bad as well. So yeah, that is something pretty amazing. with the practice of NLG. That's why I really enjoy NLG because it sort of, if you use the experiment that I shared with you, it resonates with the teaching of NLG, because NLG focuses on the 5 forms of love, and not only on the 5 forms of love alone, but also on morality. So with NLG, we teach you how to be kind to people, how to behave, how to be good, how to, and at the same time, we also teach you how to receive the energy so that your own body and your own frequency can also increase as well. So that's why, it's really a wonderful thing in the practice of NLG, and science is able to give us glimpses of, evidence that also resonate with the teaching of NLG. All right, so I think the transmission is about to start. I think it's a bit early, it's just early, but anyway, I will now transfer you to the Vietnamese live stream. Those of you who are watching, I guess if you want to receive transmission from Mr. Lee, just relax, blank out everything in this chaotic world that we live in, and just focus on the energy coming from Mr. Lee's forehead into your brain and into your body. If you have any sickness, just direct it to that part of the body that you have a sickness, and just enjoy and relax, and the healing will work on you very well. So I'm going to transfer you now. I just think it's a bit early, but I've already shared the thing, and I hope you enjoy the this energy transmission of Mr. Lee. Alrighty, okay. So here we go, and let me give you some sound.
Lượng an lành từ không gian. Vâng ạ, xin tất cả quý vị cùng chia sẻ ạ. Dạ, vâng. Rồi ạ, con đã nhìn thấy chú ở trong phòng ạ. Con xin chào chú ạ. Con chào chú ạ. Dạ. Và đến giờ làm việc của chú, con trân trọng kính mời chú ạ.
Chú đến sớm rồi. Rồi bây giờ xin chào cô Bấm, chào cô Thu Hoài, và chào tất cả anh chị em ở khắp mọi nơi trên tất cả các nơi trên thế giới. Bây giờ cô Gấm hay là Thu Hoài thì có muốn chia sẻ gì thêm không?
Hoài ơi, Thu Hoài chia sẻ nói chuyện với chú đi ạ. Mời bạn.
Dạ, con xin kính chào chú Phúc ạ.
Chào cháu.
Hôm nay con cũng có một câu hỏi muốn hỏi chú ạ. Mong chú phải đáp giúp con ạ. Để mỗi khi là con áp dụng hỗ trợ chữa lành cho người thân á, thì con thấy trên chỏm đầu của con là có hiện tượng như là đau đầu ạ. Thì là do làm sao chú?
Bây giờ khi mà tất cả chị em, không riêng thì cháu không, khi vào năng lượng gốc thì cái phần mà chú kích hoạt là cái phần quan trọng nhất. Và khi chú kích hoạt rồi thì cái não bộ mình mới kết nối được cái phần năng lượng của không gian, rồi từ đó mình mới thu vào, thì mình mới chuyển tiếp đi, hiểu không? Mình là cái bộ máy chuyển tiếp, nhận và phát. Và cái phần năng lượng này là phần năng lượng của không gian, nhưng mà chúng ta phải nhận, chúng ta phải phát đi, do chúng ta điều khiển cái phần năng lượng này. Và khi mà mình điều khiển cái năng lượng phát đi, thì nguồn năng lượng nó tác động vào cái não bộ mình, cảm thấy có một cái sự ấm áp, hơi nhức đầu, hay là một cái trạng thái gọi là khác lạ. Đó là một cái sự mà tế bào mình nó nhận được cái phần năng lượng đó, nó cho mình biết và có một cái sự khác biệt, đó là nhận vào, chuyển tiếp. Và khi chúng ta, tất cả những người học viên sau khi mà được kích hoạt rồi, với những cái phần năng lượng, những cái tần số khác nhau, ví dụ bây giờ chú nói là lớp 1 đi, thì anh chị em sẽ nhận được là 2G chẳng hạn, sóng 2G. Mình thấy dễ hiểu đó là chú thí dụ cái dễ hiểu thì như vậy. Rồi khi mình lên một lớp nữa là mình nhận 3G, rồi mình nhận 4G, và khi mình nhận rồi mình chuyển tiếp đi. Não bộ chúng ta có cái khả năng này, tiếp thu và gửi.
Dạ.
Thì khi mà chúng ta nhận như vậy đó, chúng ta dùng một cái nguồn năng lượng đó, nó tác động vào não mình cảm nhận được ngay có một sự khác biệt liền, ấm áp hoặc là nó hơi hơi nhức đầu trong những thời gian đầu. Tại vì sao? Trong những thời gian đầu não bộ mình chưa có thích nghi, chưa có hoạt động đầy đủ với những cái tầng năng lượng đó, thành ra mình có một cái trạng thái gọi là khác biệt trong thời gian đầu. Nhưng mà những trạng thái đó không làm cho chúng ta bị tổn thương hoặc là chúng ta bị mệt mỏi gì hết, không có vấn đề đó. Là yên chí nha.
Alo ạ, con xin lỗi chú là đã đến giờ ạ. Vâng ạ, con xin chú bắt đầu ạ. Dạ, vâng ạ.
Rồi bây giờ mùa đông đã đến rồi, anh chị em thấy cái hình ảnh mùa đông tuyết rơi chưa? Đẹp không? Rồi bây giờ anh chị em chuẩn bị nhé. Bây giờ chú gửi phần năng lượng đến cho tất cả mọi người ở khắp mọi nơi. Vâng, chúng ta bắt đầu.
Hết giờ à?
Right. I hope you receive wonderful transmission of energy. I must apologize if there's any background sound that you heard, during the transmission. Unfortunately, I live in this area and my neighbor is doing some renovation work, and nothing much I can do to stop these renovations going on. Anyway, coming back to the science experiment that I shared with you about water. So yeah, I guess it's the same as other techniques being used by some trainer coaches, where they teach you about positive thinking, positive intentions, and things like that. I mean, when you go into all these things and you tell your body, which is 60% water, positive things, then everything about you will get better, right? So not only your health, but the frequency, vibration, and wealth, and everything else, you seem to attract different things because your body, remember the crystals, they start looking fantastic, right? So if 60% of the water in your body is healthy looking, I think you're going to end up being a wonderful person. Don't you agree? So yeah, it's a very interesting thing. And I guess you just have to believe in it because we like to have explanations because of our conscious mind, right? We always like to only do things and believe in things that we can see and we can understand. So yeah, as much as I would like to really explain to you the unseen world, sometimes it's a little bit hard to explain. But in Mr. Lee's book, again, those of you who haven't got a copy of this, please do. I think it's really an interesting read. And it talks a lot about the unseen world and the seen world as we live in. And there are certain guidelines, certain rules that we can follow to have a better life in our next life. And even in this present life, because the book says basically that if you do anything to help others, then the angel will help you. All right. And if you do anything only for your own self benefit, with total disregard about what others, will be the consequence of your action, then the angel is not going to help you. So I hope that you really, appreciate what I'm trying to tell you today, and certainly anything to do with spirituality and religious explanation, they are my personal views, all right? And something that I feel totally enlightened after having read the book, and I certainly would strongly recommend to all of you who have yet to buy the book. And also, just a quick announcement before we end today's live stream is this Saturday, referring to Vietnam time, 8 p.m. on the 18th of December, we will be having our class 2, all right? That's our scheduled class 2. And that's GMT +7. So check your local time wherever you are. And also at the request of, our brothers and sisters in America and Canada, because they are having their school holidays and everything soon. We also have a class 1, and it will be on Sunday, Vietnam Sunday, 8 p.m. as well, and also on Monday in Vietnam. So it's actually Sunday evening for you guys over that part of the world. And check us out, get all the details, sign up, register from our fan page, and I hope to see all of you then. And also introduce, you can attend again, just, if you want. And also if you can share with your loved ones, I always joke about this, if you get benefit from NLG, don't be a secret agent, all right? Don't make it a secret. Tell the world, share with everybody, it's free. And our purpose here at NLG is to help humankind from different continents of the world. So thank you so much for watching today, and I hope that all of you in Asia will have a wonderful day, in Europe as well, and those of you in America and Canada, a very good evening, and thank you for watching. Bye-bye. Well, I guess the IT is not around, nobody to lock me out. IT, Eddie.